Oops. I want... No, monitor capture is fine. And move that onto this screen. And make this full screen. And yay! We're live, I guess. Well, let's start. It says it's starting the stream.
Very blunt.
Now it says live.
Okay.
But there's little... Oh, yep, there we go. Yay!
What the?
And we are live. Hello, everybody. Yeah, welcome back to another live stream. There we go. Okay, that works, I guess. So anyways, welcome to another live stream of Crew Talk. Today we are talking about a beginner's guide to model railroading. Pretty much.
Yes. Yes, we are.
And hopefully, eventually, we will have Alpha joining us. Hopefully.
Eventually.
If he remembers. So, how I started in model railroading was, yeah, I went to a model train show. This was back in, like, 2005. One of the members let me put his train on the tracks. This was old gauge, like a 3-rail Lionel. He let me put one of his trains on the tracks, and that's where it all began. And turns out, in 2011, I joined that train club, and I figured out it was you. That guy is still a member of that club, and we talk on a regular basis.
Oh,
Thank you, Doug.
That's his name, Doug?
Doug.
Huh.
So that's where I got started. Well, that Christmas I got a Lionel train set, the Pennsylvania Flyer set from Lionel for Christmas that year. And that's where it all began. Well, and then a couple of years later, there was a train show at my own hometown during what we call 20 Mule Team Days. This train club came in. It was N scale. I went to that show, saw the N scale, and fell in love, and that's where I am now. About 2 years or 3 years later, I joined that train club, and unfortunately, I left that train club. Yeah, there was a lot of issues, which I'm not going to name on camera.
Hey guys.
Hey Alpha, we're live, by the way.
Hi-ho!
We are talking about how we started out in model railroading and pretty much how we progressed over the years of model railroading.
Okay.
So this might be a little more personal.
Yeah.
My grandparents got me into this. That's all I'm gonna say on that. Because it's basically all that happened. My grandparents had model trains, and I've been around model trains since I was like 5 or 6, so...
Lucky, you have aunts and uncles and relatives and family members in the model railroading hobby. I got nothing!
No, actually, they only got them because of the winter, like the classic train around the Christmas tree sort of thing, that's why.
Oh, that sort of thing, okay.
Yeah.
I had to forge my own path here, buddy. You know?
Yeah.
No one in my
so
no one in my entire family knew hardly anything about trains than me.
Wow.
And then and then over the years I eventually found like other friends that were into model trains, and hence where I'm at right now.
I still have some of my original rolling stock and equipment back at my grandparents' place, actually.
Yeah, sadly I don't have any of my original stuff because it was Bachman.
Hey,
and it
all
ended
my
up
shit is
breaking.
Bachman.
This was years ago. I was younger. Yeah, I wasn't taking good care of my stuff.
Yeah.
Now my Lionel set, unfortunately, stuff didn't go very good with that either. Yeah, I was like, let's see, 2005, I was 7. Yeah, I was not very responsible.
Yeah, I mean, hey, back when I was 5 years old and I started having Bachmann train sets, do you remember that I told you about that McKinley Explorer
Oh, yeah.
set by Bachmann that I had, like, 10-odd years ago? I had a temper tantrum, and what would sometimes happen, I ended up throwing the cars and the engine across the living room.
Yeah,
And
because that's always fun.
I still have them, by the way.
Hmm.
Like, I still have some of the 13 coaches that came with that set. It was a massive set, by the way. And I still have the engine. Or bits and pieces of it. I had the John Bull Bachmann train set. I still have the motorized unit from that. And that still runs, by the way.
Well done.
And then 2 pieces of N-scale rolling stock, but I gave those to a friend of mine who I still know now. It's cool. It was nice stuff. I'm getting really distracted. I don't know where my talking is going.
Yeah.
Okay,
You just derailed the whole conversation.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
So, Alpha, you remember how I told you that I went to Baltimore?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to be bringing up a fair few pictures from at least the Railroad Museum and any other trains. Trying to find... I'm changing my avatar, and I'm trying to find the perfect picture. Just searching through my camera, because I literally took, like, about a couple hundred videos. I'll show you something else that I found really hilarious, but seriously out of order in this museum. You will see.
So anyways, let me focus on my camera. There we go, here. Alright, so I'm going to talk a little bit about my family. And how they influenced my model railroading. This, let's see, is it on camera? Yeah. This is my great-uncle, Kenny, who was in the Air Force as a railroader. This is him on a GE 80-tonner setting a handbrake on a flat car. He sent me this picture about 2 years ago now. Yeah, a little bit over a year ago now. And what he also sent me another time, or over a couple months, or about a year, he would send me packages of with stuff. And this was about a year and a half. He's just having issues.
Alright, time to start recording my own.
Alright, we're live again. So anyways, back to my story here.
Story time with Chris.
Yeah.
I just started my recording, by the way.
Cool.
Last year, November 26, which was 2016, I want to say, he sent me a his last package. And in it was this engine in scale.
Is that an 060 Fender?
Yes. Yes.
Hey.
You sent me this locomotive. These cars.
Oh, wow. Nice.
And this caboose.
And a loop of track and a power pack?
Well, a little bit of track. Well, he sent me track before, but he sent me a small little loop of a bit of track. I don't think it really made a full loop, but that doesn't really matter too bad.
Okay.
But
oh, so you had one of those train sets made from scratch.
Almost.
Almost.
Yeah, it's one of the. It was well, this. Yeah, these cars are all different manufacturers. Like this one is Arnold Rapido. This one is Atlas.
Wait, Arnold? There's a company named Arnold?
Well, there was back in like the
Yeah.
70s.
Oh, okay.
This had no detailing underneath.
Okay, so
That's
it's
how
kinda
old
like
it is.
Tyco.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Tyco and Lifelike. You know, those were companies
Yeah.
back in the 80s, 90s, and
Lifelike
No,
is still
no.
around, I believe. Yeah,
Yep.
Lifelike.
Lifelike?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe
Wow.
they're part of Walthers now.
Yes, they
Oh,
are.
okay.
They are a part of Walthers.
Are you? So basically, what you're saying is they got bought out by Walters,
Pretty much.
because that's usually what happens.
Yeah.
It's not their. They didn't join a
I
partnership.
mean, this one's a
They got
Lifelike
bought out.
engine.
Oh, that's not bad.
GP18. Well, it's missing a couple handrails, but it runs really good.
I've
mean,
got
my
a
Bolt-
F7.
I mean, my
my
Baltimore and
grandparents.
Ohio STP-45 is by Lifelike, and that one works just fine.
But anyways, this was the last package he ever sent me. And the next month, I heard that he passed away. Yeah.
May he rest in peace.
Back when I was in the first grade, he moved to New Hampshire
Mm.
from
Oh, the New
SoCal.
Haven, New Hampshire. That's where some of the stuff came from. Okay, nice.
yeah, he moved to New Hampshire, and yeah. Well, when that was back when I was in the first grade.
Wow.
So, anyways, yeah, I got a lot of influence from him on railroading.
It's what
And,
he left in his will. It's what he left in his will for you. You know, inheritance, family inheritance. No.
Well, this all came with a letter from him.
I'm guessing you probably shouldn't read the letter because, you know, it's personal.
Letters at home in SoCal in a box that I have of like family letters, my memories box, pretty much.
Got it.
So, anyways, these are the last trains he ever sent me, and well, these are really the only model trains he ever sent me, though. But he sent me a lot of letters with some VHS tapes of other stuff, of train stuff, and a couple books.
Mm.
So, anyways, yeah, he was big on influence for me in railroading.
He was the whole reason why you got into the hobby. I applaud that man.
Well, he's also one of the reasons why I'm up here in Sacramento now, going
Oh?
to school for railroading.
Oh.
Okay,
Yeah.
my apologies for swearing over the stream, but where the fuck is my water bottle?
How should we know? Your camera's not even on, you idiot.
Yeah, because I'm on my desktop. I have Oh, for the people who are watching, I have a new headset, keyboard and mouse, because I needed to replace all three anyway. But that also means you won't be able to see me on camera anymore.
Aw.
Aww.
Wait, do I have a picture of Alpha somewhere?
For God's sake,
I will
no.
replace your picture with a I will replace you with a picture. I do not have a picture of you. Dang it. Oh yeah. AI quote bot.
Alpha, you like anime, don't you?
OTP, Unogosai, and, fuck, what's his name? Yuki Teru.
There's a lot of anime that I do not know of, so probably not.
I actually enjoy watching anime, so.
You do? That's all I was asking. That's all I was asking. That's all I was asking.
Here we go. my first steam engine I ever got. Right here.
Your 4A4 Northern?
Yeah, well, it's now a 284.
What the hell?
Yeah, this was about, like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
This engine didn't want to really run around a curve quite that well that I had on my layout, and so I just took the pilot truck off, and it ran a lot better.
Huh.
Well, unfortunately, now this engine doesn't run very well anyways.
Well, let's see. The first steam engine that I got was the 260 Prairie, the Rio Grande one from my set, my Bachmann set that I first bought with my own money for the first time. Hold on, what was it? $95 I got it from, and it was from the gift shop because they were selling a couple of train sets in the gift shop of a place called Entertainment Junction. It's in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is one of the largest indoor train displays in the world.
Huh.
It's all G-scale throughout the ages. It's a massive building just of nothing but G-scale model trains. All the way from the old Western types to modern day.
Let me see here. Let me go to my internet and open up a second internet browser so you don't have to see my YouTube information and all that stuff. Let me see. Let's see, what is the set called again? The Bachmann Thunder Valley set. Let me see if I can find an image of the entire set. Here we are.
Find my water bottle.
This right here was my first N-scale train set. The Thunder Valley.
Oh yeah, the Thunder Valley train set. I remember. I know that one.
That was my first ever train set in N-scale. Yeah, it was just a circle of track. That thing was kind of a little difficult to put on the tracks, but oh well. Let's see. That's HO scale. This is N scale right here. I wish they had it in like a oval with straight tracks so you can easily put it on the tracks and couple them up. But yeah.
Was there not like a curved piece re-railer terminal track?
Yeah, there was. There was, but it was okay to put on the tracks, but yeah, it didn't quite like to couple up too easily. So yeah, the Thunder Valley set was my first train set in N-scale.
I don't even know if any of the if the first like N-scale train set that I ever had is even in production still.
Eventually, I got the McKinley Explorer. This is the wrong McKinley Explorer. It was the one with the F units and 3 coaches.
Oh, I remember that one. 2 Alaskan Railroad F7s, 2 of them, one a dummy, the other being the motorized units.
And then 3 of the coaches. Which were not really the exact proper coaches. Yeah,
it was the full dome coaches, just an N-scale version.
McKinley Explorer N-scale.
I think that is actually still around. I think.
What is?
The McKinley Explorer?
The N-scale with the 2 F units?
They might be.
That I would not know because I do HO, not N.
Yeah, so here's the set right here. Yeah, those were the full dome cars. Not quite like these cars. Actually, those are the right cars. Not like these cars. Though I do have literally one of those cars. And then a Jeep that I painted up myself and decaled myself. Which I don't think I have here in Sacramento. But here's the set. I no longer really have them because they all kind of... Yeah, this was like 7 years or 6 years ago now, and yeah. I was not that good with my trains yet.
Mm-hmm. So,
Let's see here. Okay, so I looked up...
But I do oh, you know what? I actually remember what the N-scale set that I had contained. Well, at least in terms of trains-wise. I think it might have been an older Bachmann set from the early 2000s. But it had a switching diesel. I think it's a... it was either an NW2... 50-foot boxcar, a 50-foot high-cube boxcar, and a 3-dome tank car. That's the set that I had.
In N scale or HO?
Yeah, that's an N scale.
Huh.
That was actually the first ever electric train set that I ever got. Was an N scale. So, and I was 5 years old at the time, and these the age rating for N scale set is what, 14? Did it say? So, yeah, you can only imagine how well that turned out.
I would never give N scale to a 5-year-old.
Yeah, well,
Let's actually
my parents didn't.
See if we can find
my parents
that.
didn't know that, so because, like I said, nobody knew in my nobody knew hardly anything about trains in my family. So.
GP40, that's Mechanic Explorer, that's not even Broadway Limited, no, Stallion, no, that's not it. Trailblazer? No, that was Steam, I believe.
The Trailblazer?
Yeah,
what's the Trailblazer?
460. It's another set. It's a 460 boxcar gondola, tank car, and an old time caboose. So no, that's not it. Yeah, Bachmann's website is not very user-friendly. I don't like it too much.
Yeah.
I think another Bachmann set I remember. It was N-scale, by the way. It was called the Explorer. It was a freight set. It was a large freight set at that.
You could choose the color of your trains on eBay. Let's see.
Really? You could choose the color of your trains on eBay.
Well, shop by color.
Wow.
Ah.
Let's try to find
filters.
sets.
It's one of the filters in eBay.
There's the Golden Spike DCC set that has 2 locomotives.
True fact. That was the first set that a friend of mine got. With
Really?
N-scale. Yep. That was
TGV train set.
That was his first DCC N-scale set. It was the Golden Spike.
Let's see. It looks like the only one so far with a switcher. Empire Builder, Durango and Silverton. Nope.
I really wanted the Empire Builder.
Yeah, that was a big set.
For Northern, I wanted that set so bad, but I couldn't find it, so I just settled for the Explorer, which was 2 Santa Fe F7 units and a bunch of freight cars.
Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it. It is an older set, I bet. Most likely been discontinued.
Uh-huh.
I'm surprised the Thunder Valley is still in production.
Yeah, the Thunder Valley's still in production. I've seen it at my local model train shop.
That was a good, like, 10 years ago that I got that set originally.
Hmm.
See, what was that on Discord? I get... never mind. The Highballer set is an older set. That came in several road names. I know of
What's the high?
it's a F7, 2 freight cars and a caboose, and a circle or oval of track.
N scale?
N scale. Yeah,
Okay.
It's an old set. I know there was this was a long time ago. I actually was given that set. It was a Santa Fe version of it. Here's a UP version right here.
Right. Awesome.
I'm seeing a lot of Thunder Valley sets, Empire Builders, Golden Spikes, and Yard Boss.
Oh yeah, the Yard Boss with that the 040 tender switcher.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not seeing anything. It's probably been discontinued.
Seems to be the case.
Yeah, a lot of stuff tends to become discontinued. The Super Chief set. Okay, so this Super Chief right here. This set here is pretty much what the Highballer was. The old Highballer turned into the Super Chief when they did. Well, if this was the Santa Fe version of the Highballer turned into Super Chief. Literally the same set.
Can't see.
Except the Highballer, the Santa Fe Highballer, I believe had 3 freight cars. A boxcar, tank, and a gondola, then the caboose. $110. It's not worth it.
Huh. Wow, that is not worth it.
Yeah, these sets are... Okay, here's the issue with Bachmann. They tend to overprice their products.
Yep.
This is like for a budget model train manufacturer, but you're paying for high quality.
Yep.
Yet where you're getting budget stuff. Like this set, I know this is DCC, but $328.
For the Golden Spike?
Yeah,
What?
that is
My
expensive.
friend got that for $200. My friend got that the Golden Spike set in N scale for $220, $230 at a train show. Brand new, factory sealed. What the fuck? Wow.
McKinley Explorer 123. Yeah,
That's
these
an
are
N scale
not N
That's
scale.
an N scale or N scale? That's
This
an
is
N
the
scale?
newer
Okay.
N scale version of it.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it has the Jeep and then the cars. If you want something that is more high quality, okay, remember these prices, like 100, those prices.
Wait, hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but didn't we literally just discuss earlier not to be promoting products and actually be giving actual advice?
yeah,
of
that's
model
right.
Railroading? Like
Wow.
like this is for the audience who already have a starter set but want to take it a step or two further and don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
I told this to Chris Alpha. I know you're not here, so
Anyways, right
No,
here,
I'm agreeing with you.
this Kato set.
okay.
$135. Engine, cars, track. This is a better set. You're paying for the quality in this case.
Well, that's what people do. They pay for good quality.
So that could be a little bit cheaper than Bachmann.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And with Kato, it works with any track system. Same with Bachmann trains, and same with Athearn, same with Atlas. All the model train manufacturers pretty much work with the exact same track system, or work like run on any track.
Yeah.
There's
I
a
like it.
set standard for this reason.
9mm
Yeah.
from rail to rail. That is the NMRA standard.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, do I have one here at my desk?
Now, the important thing is that's not field to field. That's gauge to gauge.
The track gauge itself.
Yeah.
I will be right back in a minute, and you keep talking.
There are two sides to a rail. There's the gauge side, which is on the inside, and then there's the field side.
Nobody's gonna know about that, Alpha.
That's why I just said it. But when you're measuring the inside of your track, you do it from the gauge side, not the field side. Otherwise, you're going to screw up measurements.
You'd be amazed as of how many people can still screw that up even after giving all that direction.
Oh, yeah.
So, Alpha, I just got a huge score on an 8 set of and a set of 8 coaches off of eBay.
Ooh, very nice, very nice. Meanwhile, I've got a headache. The state I'm in is in a state of emergency.
Uh-oh.
And I am in a lot of pain because of said headache.
Alright.
I may leave early because of all three.
Yeah, well, okay, well, that's understandable. So yeah, perfectly fine Concours set of 8 coaches that were lettered for the Texas Gulf and Western that were originally the Pennsylvania. 20, 30 years old coaches, original box, knuckle couplers, everything's still there. $30.
As soon as I'm back. And I have a little tool here that I would highly recommend every model railroader to get. That is an NMRA standards gauge.
Yep.
Bollocks,
With this,
I don't have one.
well, they're like $4. Anyways, they have track gauge, flange way gauges, points gauge, wheel width from flange to flange, as well as wheel size, like the width of a wheel. I would highly recommend getting these because these will save you a lot of headache. If you have a train that's not wanting to run smoothly, check the gauge of the wheels, check the gauge of the track. And that will help you out a lot. I'll be right back and get some more tools that I would highly recommend you getting.
Alright, Alpha, can you see the camera?
Yes. And
Okay.
no, because I'm in run 8. Ooh, very nice.
Those are the coaches.
Ooh, very nice.
That's what they look like. Okay? So if you take a look, this is the observation car.
Jesus, that's a lot of rail cars.
It's a 15-car passenger train, butto.
Nice.
So yeah. Of course, I have to have this running, these being pulled by one of my larger locomotives because my FT cannot handle it.
I'm back and I have all the tools that I would highly recommend every model railroader to get. Let me focus on my camera here. The first, there's then the track gauge, or NMR gauge, is a pack of screwdrivers.
Oh my god, you get a whole toolkit!
This cost me like less than $10 at Walmart. You have a lot of different tool like screwdriver bits, plus you have the screwdriver handle. This is very, very useful, especially with model railroading. You have small screws. These have pretty small screwdrivers.
Mm-hmm.
Either something like that, or this, or a jeweler's screwdriver kit or set.
I will be honest with you. If you're doing HO or N scale, go with the jeweler's kit. Though with HO, you can just about get away with a normal sized screwdriver.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I use normal size small screwdrivers for my HO scale cars, and it works just fine.
But there are certain instances where you will have to use either tweezers or a jeweler's kit. When you're going S scale and up, you can use normal size, and it'll work just fine.
Let's see, do I have others? No. Anyways, then of course, tweezers, fine tip tweezers, or whatever tweezers you can get as well.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You can find them at any Walmart in like the makeup section and stuff like that.
Or go to a hardware store.
Or a hardware store, that works too.
Oh yeah.
It works better because you know they're gonna have it.
Yeah. And
Definitely.
then also, re-railer. You can get away with not using one of these. With smaller scales like N and Z, it's recommended. A lot of manufacturers make them. This one's a Kato one, but I also have ones made by Microtrains and stuff like other companies like that. Very useful. The thing with this Kato one, it has like a ruler printed on the side and track spacing for getting parallel track.
Now, I know there's a tool that is overly excessive as far as model trains is concerned. However, is useful for when you're making buildings.
Oh, like those
or
little
doing any
clamps?
measurement.
What is it, a scalpel?
No, not a scalpel. It's one of those things. It's a digital thing that has fuck, I can't describe it. It's a digital millimeter thing. Chris, I think you know what I'm talking about.
Calipers?
Yes, digital calipers.
You could go with manual calipers, a ruler, or digital calipers. I have both. Oh, well, I technically have all three.
Yeah, digital. If you have a hard time with normal-sized calipers, go with digital.
Yeah.
I don't own a pair, but I've been meaning to get myself a pair for quite a long time, and they are useful for not only just model trains, but daily use as well.
Yeah. Anyways, the next tool I would recommend is some sort of a wheel cleaner. This one's made by Woodland Scenics, part of their Tidy Track system. You could just set it on the track, put the engine on it, power it up, or you can hook it up with a little jack and clips, alligator clips. This is really good to clean wheels. There's also like a Velcro one that's like the stiffer part of the Velcro.
And if you're too cheap for any of that, buy yourself some paper towels and rubbing alcohol.
That works too. But be careful with the alcohol. Do not get it on your fingers and then touch your model because it'll get rid of the paint.
Yes. This is why you use paper towels and you do not directly apply the rubbing alcohol to the rail. That's a very good way to get corroded rail.
Well, rubbing alcohols also works to clean track too.
Yeah.
In fact, I do that
But
when I haven't ran anything on my layout for a while.
Don't use pure alcohol, because that'll most certainly degrade at the rail.
Yeah, that is a bad idea.
Yeah. Just like soap and water.
Yep. This is why when you ask any person if, in the model train community, is soap and water a good idea for cleaning the wheels or track?
No.
Nope.
It is not.
It's
It will damage your equipment. It will damage your rail.
It was
And water conducts electricity. You do not want that on your rail.
It is perfect for killing yourself and killing your equipment.
Well, I don't know about killing yourself, though, but...
In large quantities.
Yeah, and if you were working with, like, I don't know, higher amperage and voltage than G scale, then yeah.
Okay, anything above G, turn off, if you're using DCC or not, turn off your layout. This is a very important thing. I don't care if you're using rubbing alcohol or soap and water. You turn off your layout. This is especially
turn your power
true
off
on
when
DCC.
you clean track.
Yeah, this is especially true of DCC, as the track is always live.
Yeah. And, it's not like DC. It's almost like AC, because it's pulsing a electrical signal through the rail. Now, let's see here. Get my other tools that I need, that I want to show. Anyways, after re-railer and all that stuff. Lubricating oil. You don't need a lot. You don't need a lot. Just a little drop on, like, where surfaces are rubbing, or like in your the bearings on your trucks. Just a little drop will do it.
Yeah, even just a tiny amount of grease, just a stupid tiny amount of grease will work.
Yeah.
Yep.
I recommend like a medium to heavyweight oil.
Sometimes it's rare, but lightweight oils can work.
Yeah.
Especially in some of the smaller spaces. And,
you don't need to put a lot of oil. You don't need much oil anyways. Your gears, they don't need any oil. The gears are, especially on newer models, they are a slippery plastic. They don't need any.
It's only metal to metal or metal to plastic contact.
Next thing is glue. Super glue. This bottle I bought for like $8. This I bought like 4 years ago, and I still haven't used half of it.
Modeling glue.
CA glue. Cyanoacrylate glue. It's super glue. It is the same thing. Super glue is CA glue.
Any super glue, not normal glue, not the stupid Elmer's shit.
Well, that stuff is okay for other stuff. There are times when where you have to use that stuff.
Yeah.
I will cover that in like the next live stream if I remember.
This section of the live stream, glue. Don't sniff it.
Yeah, especially don't sniff the glue. And don't eat it.
By sticking the nozzle up your nose, it'll hurt.
Next is like a set of small files. I would recommend them. Especially if you're building. Even if you're building a model from a kit, it's very handy to remove flashing. Also, X-Acto knives, or any other kind of hobby knife, or even a medical scalpel. Something, a sharp blade, even like a razor blade works too.
I mean, I use a crafting knife.
crafting knives work as well.
Yeah.
Also, going back to the files, if you can't purchase files or you don't have any lying around, hard grit sandpaper will work just as well.
Emery cloth or emery sticks, like for use with nails. That works too. Next, well, it doesn't matter if you have one of these or not. Like, when you're working with DCC, you have to keep a good battery in your throttle. I have a battery tester. That tells me if it's good or bad.
Wait, battery in your throttle?
Yeah,
yes.
in your throttle, handheld. Handheld controller, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
your cab.
Remote controller.
A mobile device. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
These
now bear in mind,
are good.
In the DCC community, they're not called remotes, they are called cabs.
Or throttles.
In some places they are called remotes, but the common term is either cab or throttle.
DCS or your mobile device.
Yeah, JMRI works great. It's accessible on either Android or iPhone.
The proper JMRI app, engine throttle, or engine driver, sorry, is Android only. In fact, my phone just went off.
And there's the version which is called Wii Throttle,
Y throttle,
which is
on Android.
I thought that was on iPhone. Y Throttle.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Y
I've got
Throttle
a massive headache.
for
My apologies.
iPhone, engine driver for Android.
And hypothetically, there will be links in the description of this for future
Probably
reference.
not.
Probably not. But there should be.
Anyways, the next thing I would recommend
Meh.
is a foam engine cradle. You can make your own, or you can buy one. This is just foam. Now,
if you don't have foam, bubble wrap, tissue paper, loads and loads of tissue paper, or newspaper.
Here. Let's say you're wanting to work on your on one of your locomotives. Let's say I have so many locomotives in here, I don't know which one to choose. Here we go. This locomotive here. You can. There you go. Easy access. You can easily oil. This is.
Or
This
you can go
saves
the old
your handrails.
Oh yeah. Or you can go the old-fashioned way, like I do sometimes, Legos.
That works too.
What
But
Legos?
something soft like foam or something like that. It is helpful because, it protects your handrails and fine details when you're working on your models. With that out of the way, here's something a little more advanced. One of these.
Oh yes.
A clear
Oh, yeah.
rail car. Especially when you are working on switches. Or have a trouble spot with a rail where your cars derail. You can just put this on, push it along, and you could see a lot easier.
Exactly where the issue is.
I have one both in N and HO scale. These
Oh,
are
wow.
great.
Bear in mind, these are optional. You don't
Optional.
desperately need them.
And
Just like cleaning cars.
yeah, track
like
cleaning cars. You could buy, you could
cars.
build your own track cleaning car. There's a product from Woodland Scenics in their Tidy Track system called Track Monkeys.
Track monkey.
Track Monkey. Yeah, let me find it.
That being said, though, another optional thing that you can have is a programming track. This is especially true if you do DCC. But a separate programming track is not mandatory, rather optional. Most
I need one.
What, these?
you don't.
Tidy Track? Dust Monkeys?
No, I need one of those separate programming tracks.
No, you
Yeah.
don't. Most
No, you don't.
most modern systems include mainline programming. You don't need a separate programming track.
I would recommend using a programming track or test track even.
But I
Like a
need
test
a
track.
separate track so I can change around my engine's program digital addresses and when I'm building and breaking up concepts.
For consisting, you don't, especially if you use Y throttle or engine driver. Y throttle, you will need to pay for engine consisting, but overall, you can do it either through the app.
Yeah.
Or mainline.
Let's see, do I still have engine driver on my phone?
Alpha,
What?
you realize I have none of those.
Yeah, I'm aware. But if
Yeah.
you were the audience...
I do. Engine driver. Oh, you can't even see my screen. The live stream isn't focused on my screen. Anyways, here's engine driver on my phone.
Engine driver on your phone will consist automatically.
Yeah. You can easily consist. You can easily, like, add or remove. You can change CVs while you're
Easily.
running your train.
It's
This makes it extremely simple. This is free.
If you have Android, be lucky. I am lucky because I have Android.
I am too. I have an Android phone as well.
You could select a locomotive or locomotives.
And the beautiful thing about Engine Driver, you can have more than one throttle on screen at a time.
Yeah, you can control
Actually
infinite
useful.
number of trains at the same
No.
time, I believe.
No.
Really?
Up to 4.
Oh, up to 4.
That's still pretty good, nonetheless.
So yeah. Anyways, moving on. I want to wrap this up so I could maybe... Nah, never mind. It's too late in the day. Oh well. I was gonna go somewhere for stuff, and before it gets 6 o'clock, and that stuff gets expensive.
Oh, dinner.
Yes. Kind of.
How expensive of ramen are you buying?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Here's the thing. I wanted to go to a bar, which is in Old Sacramento, which people under the age of 18 and under the age of 21 can go into and buy Sarsaparilla, which is old-fashioned root beer, for 25 cents a glass until 6
Oh,
p.m.
Jesus.
When it gets to 6 p.m., the price goes up to $1.25 a glass.
That's still not that bad.
So I
No.
was gonna go down there to the bar to drink Sarsaparilla and have.
You do realize that it would have cost more to drive there than it would be
Light
to
rail.
buy.
I could take the light rail. I have a light rail pass. I could ride it for free
Of course you do.
through my college, because I'm a college student. My college offers a transit pass, which I do pay for, but it's not that bad of a price. I forgot the price though on the top of my head. Anyways, yeah. I was planning on going down to River City Saloon and drinking a lot of sarsaparilla, because it is that good.
Now, bear
Really?
in mind, when the three of us meet up, that's the first place we're going.
Yes. And they have mac and cheese bites.
Oh, God.
Mac and
Oh.
cheese. Oh,
You
boy.
just reminded me to remind my dad about something. Balls. Oh, well. I'll remind him after this.
Anyways, you can later in model railroading, if you're just getting into the hobby, you can continue, you can upgrade your layout from, DC to DCC.
Yeah,
pretty
there's an
easily.
infinite amount of possibilities. Infinite amount of possibilities, honestly.
With model railroading, it's a big hobby. And,
It really is.
It really is, yeah.
There are a lot of people, myself included, as well as Chris and whatever your name
big
is.
white
I forget.
box.
That's really all it is.
So another
Here
thing
we
I
are.
would like to point out, I found
DCC.
something really,
Boom.
really funny and yet really out of place at the B&O Railway Museum. Okay?
Way to get off track, you ass.
And the thing that I ended up running into, there is a modern refrigeration car parked in amongst the cars at the B&O Railway Museum.
Modern.
Yes, like a modern.
Huh.
Present day.
And to think, all we have at the Rare Museum here in Sacramento is an old-fashioned ice reefer.
Oh, so bear in mind, our RPO car is better and older than the one here, sorry to say.
Yeah, but ours has its special moments. Especially when the handicapped lift goes out.
Oh.
It's not in place anymore because it went out.
Oh, dear. Oh,
Alright,
dear.
let's talk about DCC for a minute. This
Yes.
is one of the most basic DCC systems you can get. The Digitrax Zephyr.
Yep, it is reliable, it is useful.
I've had this for like 3 years now and it runs great.
Nice.
Now,
And
one
with
thing to
this,
note-
these two little ports right here, you can expand off of this.
Oh yeah. It's not that hard. It really isn't.
I could easily
However-
run 2 trains with this.
Oh yeah. Now, the thing is, though, as your layout gets bigger, and as you start adding more shit to your layout, you will need repeaters.
Or
Why do you
boosters.
need
Power
Either
boosters.
repeaters or boosters.
Power boosters.
It depends on what the company calls them
Yeah.
specifically. They're most, from what I hear, because I use NCE, you need repeaters or boosters. I've heard both.
Well,
This
my
is-
DCC system is Bachmann, and they refer to them as power boosters.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
It's the same
That
shit.
being
Okay.
said, the reason why is that one Zephyr will not be able to power all of the track that you will be adding. It can only power so much. This is why a lot of times you see DCC blocks that are mostly isolated but are connected to each other.
Now,
Yeah.
for
To a
one of
common
my old
place.
N-scale club I was in, for about a month or two, I was in charge of DCC, since the guy that's usually in charge of DCC was away on vacation for a couple months. So I was in
Right.
charge.
Yeah.
We had 4 main lines on our layout. We only wanted to power 2 of them on DCC. Each track had its own booster. Well,
Wow.
the command station powered the red line. Then we had the booster that was connected to the command station, which that was powering the yellow line. I think that's the
Sounds like-
order. Yeah,
Sounds
red,
like the
yellow,
London
blue,
Underground.
green.
Sounds like the London Underground. You're just referring to all different lines by other colors.
Yeah, that's how the
No, that's
N-track
more
system
of-
works.
That's more Boston.
That's how the
London does the exact same consist, Alpha.
they go by
Concept
names.
and
They have like the
meh.
Victoria line, City
Oh yeah,
line,
the Piccadilly, the
Circle line,
the
Jubilee
Hammersmith, the Circle, the District.
Yeah, they have a lot
Now,
of those lines. Not
I
the
think we
colors.
can all. I think we can all agree. The one major thing with DCC that you want to try and avoid, but you can't always, balloon loops.
Yes,
Balloon loops?
reverse loops.
Balloon
Balloon
loop?
loop.
What the what?
Balloon loops, aka reversing loops. They are an utter bitch to program. Because
Yeah.
one side is always positive. The other side is always negative. This is always true. And when you're looking at a layout, generally, the inside of the layout, no matter how many tracks you have, is negative, and the outside is positive.
Let me see if I could find a picture.
So
See,
is it
that's
like
the Dakota
two
manual.
Is it like 2 racetrack shaped loops? Because that's
Here we go.
exactly what I have.
A reversing loop. This
That.
is.
Oh, that reversing. Oh no, then I don't have.
You have to have a separate system for that as well.
I don't have that. No.
Because,
have
like,
one
the
of
lower
those.
track here, it becomes the upper track, and you get short circuits.
Yep. This is why.
Unless you're running, like, battery-powered trains, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
You have to worry about reversing
battery
loops.
powered. Battery powered is its own thing, and that's generally with properly MU'd units as well, like little tiny cables that go from
Yeah.
underneath the locomotive cases, and that shit is hard when you're doing homemade as well.
Yeah. I don't
Well, a
like
lot of-
battery-powered trains too much. I don't have any. I did
Hey.
one in G-scale once. Because my layout was pretty bad. I was...
Well,
Yeah.
but you know, like Bosman G Scale is now starting to come up with options that you can convert it from track power to battery power, especially if you got dirty track
Yeah.
Yeah.
and for outdoors. And to
I
be
will-
honest, like with G Scale and where you sometimes are running it, that kind of makes sense.
It does, and as the years go on, battery-powered locomotives will become more and more of a thing.
Yeah.
And for locomotives like the DD40, where in HO scale they have the room for it because of how long
Yeah.
they are to begin with,
On the other hand-
it makes sense.
Yeah. On the other hand, N-scale, Z-scale, and other smaller scales, it's not that easy.
It's only
Larger
gonna be for
scales,
the
it's
larger
easier.
scales. It's only going to be for the larger scales, I guarantee you, especially at first.
The easiest scale of all would be like G-scale.
It is G scale. G scale. They already have them in G scale. They already have
Yeah.
some in
Yeah.
G scale.
And on the other hand, a live steam like 7.5 gauge. Let me bring up a picture of my 7.5 gauge train.
For a fucking car. No.
I built one. This cost me a total of like $50 to build.
Would you build it out of scrap metal?
Yes.
Yeah, basically.
Literally
Ah.
scrap metal.
Wow, that's very cool.
And a two-stroke engine.
No, battery.
Oh,
Batteries and a scooter motor for like a power chair. Here it is before
that's it.
without wheels.
Oh, that's electric. Never mind. I
Yeah,
thought
electric.
it was a two-stroke.
Here it is, pretty much complete. Almost complete. Yeah, the side panels here are aluminum sheets of metal from a boat, a houseboat. Then we have scrap metal, scrap wood, a seat from a chair that broke. And
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a chair from a seat that broke in your school.
no, at home.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can find a picture of them. There's my control panel I used. I originally had used a throttle, like the throttle knob from a power pack for model trains.
Hmm.
But then, well, there was an issue with that. Let me see if I can find said issue. There's the motor there. It was belt driven to there. That converted it to chain from a bicycle, which went down to the wheel where there was another one of these parts on it. And I welded it all together and that sort of system, and yeah, that was the outcome.
Huh.
Then the test track I had. Little,
No.
oh yeah, there's the problem. It kind of melted.
Oh yeah, that's right. But,
So
if
I had to buy another little part. I bought a new knob, and this was a system that was meant for higher voltages. That little knob went into a little box with this reversing switch there into a little box that changed the voltage.
Now,
Yeah,
if
there's
I recall
that.
correctly, your original concept, because this was when you were at school, was an SDP-45 with a
40F.
Power Ranger sitting on it. Close enough.
Yep. Here's the funny thing. If I would have actually gotten that built properly like I was planning on, I was going to buy a Power Ranger costume and sit on it.
What the fuck? Why?
That was my concept, to show my teacher how it's going to look. Because he wanted me to make a little small-scale model, and I happen to have a model. So, boom. It's like,
If I recall, that model was also HO scale.
yes.
Otherwise, the Power Ranger would not have been able to sit on it.
Yeah. And I was like, Mr. White, this is what it's going to look like. Just pretend the Power Ranger is me. But yeah, I made a video on part of the build. It's up on my YouTube channel.
Right.
That is, like, one of my best videos, as in, like, most views.
Mm-hmm.
Nice, nice.
So anyways, I think that's about it for this episode of Career Talk.
Yeah.
Because I've got a massive headache. And it's oppressive.
And I'm gonna go to the bar and drink a lot of sarsaparilla.
Hey Chris,
Hey, Chris,
could you do me a favor and send me a bottle?
Okay.
Hey Chris, if you're on, I got photos of most of the railroad equipment that I saw at the B&O Museum. You'll like some of it, I know for a fact. So if you're on later.
Oh yeah,
tonight.
are you gonna be working the museum Sunday, by any chance?
I think I might actually be. I mean, I
might show you where the bar is that day. But,
okay.
but we cannot go in the bar in our docent uniforms.
Oh shit.
Yeah, remember.
That's a good way to get fired.
That's a good way for state parks to be like, It's like, we're going to have to ask you not to do that, please.
Right. Okay.
Remember, they told us not to do that in docent class.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so I think I might, but there is a kind of fair chance that I might not. Mostly down to the fact that I was away and I ended up skipping a day of school during my trip, so I have some catching up.
Yeah.
In terms
Homework.
of work, so yeah.
So anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching this episode of Career Talk. We'll see you guys next time.